So recently you just had your very first book signing.
I
So that's
did.
also exciting. All these first, first you get your
So
first
many.
contract, and
Mhm.
then you do your revisions, you work with a publishing house, and then the first opening of the box and holding the book in your hands. And
Right.
then you have your first release day, and
Right.
then your very first book signing. So all of these first, so there's a lot of high
Yes, so
emotions, but
many. Yeah.
tell us about that. Like, where was it held and how did that go?
Well, and I also want to mix in, I know you're talking to aspiring writers, so I really want to give some, I've been heads upping people. Heads up, do this, heads up, be ready for this, because it's new. When you're doing it for the first time, that's the only time you remember how many pieces are unknown. I am very integrated in my church and my local community. So I had a book signing at a coffee house in my town, and I had people from grade school and high school and family members and extended family members, and they just I'm an extrovert, so I'm a walking billboard. So I have spent 9 years kind of blabbing about what I was doing and waiting and waiting and waiting. So I sort of had everybody step up and be like, "Yay, finally it's
Right?
here."
Yeah.
So I don't know that I'll ever have a book signing that was as effective or as successful and as feels good as that for me, because eventually you're going to get your rhythm. I'll get my rhythm of my readership, but this one was just the group of people that were behind me, and then my church got behind me, and they had one at my church, which was I've been a part of my church for 4 decades, so I know so many people have known me since I was a little girl, and so it was a delight, and I didn't. And so now what's fun is, like, they've all been reading the books, and so now I've got these my all these delightful, like, older generation ladies that are older than me that are just coming up to me, and they're like, "This is the
Right?
part I like, this is the part that helped me, this part I was listening." And then now some of them are passing it to their husbands, so these guys have also known me forever, and the wives are like, "You'll like this, there's guns in there, there's a dead body in there,
Right?
there's a little something or whatever." And
Yeah.
so that the wave right now is with these guys that are a little skeptical, like, am I going to like this girl book, like, it's kind of
Right.
fun. So and then one of my people from my church made it so that my local newspaper interviewed me. So that just came out yet this last week. And so even that was one of those things that I was like, maybe someday that will happen. I wonder how that will happen. I wonder if I have to, like, wave my hand and say, interview me, like, I didn't know how that would work out. So to have it be so sweetly wrapped into all my firsts was just a fantastic
Right.
experience.
We study for so many years. We attend classes and conferences, and this is our hope and our dream for so many years. And then all of a sudden, the dream comes true, and it really is unbelievable. That
Yeah.
first time, and it's the feeling's overwhelming, and
Right.
it's something you'll never forget.
So let me talk to the people who are getting ready to have this experience real quick. If you're and you want to be prepared. So how do you be prepared for the launch of your first book in a nutshell? Press kit, which is all kinds of things. It's 2 or 3 different length of bio, book blurbs, 2 or 3 different length. You got to have the short, medium, and long versions of everything.
Hmm.
Your picture, a high resolution picture. People don't know that at first. They always have a couple of questions that you should answer. So I just put the questions up there in my thing, not answering them, but that isn't the point. The point is that somebody might interview you that has never read your book, and they want to be educated. So you need to ask questions about your own book that make them sound like they know what your book is about. Like, that's the point, and I didn't quite get the point on that. So press kits are having all that done ahead of time is a massive time saver, because it starts to come in from a lot of directions, and you're moving with so many different details and pieces that it's hard to slow down and go create those things. So if you can create those things ahead of time, great. It took me a little bit to be able to do the finance part, where if you're going to do a book signing, people are going to buy books from you personally. You have to do your, the bank account. I did the Square, but you can do different things. But that takes days. You can't just do that at the last second. You actually have to get your bank account settled and all of that stuff. So getting that settled, I had a person running they ran the cashier basically, but when they did that, they had a sticky tab thing to put on the book who I was signing the books to, and
Uh-huh.
how they spelled their name and all that, which saves you, because your brain goes numb when you're in that situation. As far as, I know you, I've known you since I was 10 and I can't think of your name, or I know your name, I can't think of how it's spelled. Like all that stuff is just like a mess in your brain. And so to have somebody kind of spoon feeding you that stuff's super helpful. And
Right. It's very good to always have an assistant at a book signing.
and I will
Um,
say it's extremely strange because I put together my own. I'm assuming you put together your own. I think there's rare situations where somebody will put together a book signing for you, but book signings feel like you're throwing yourself a birthday party, which feels really, really self-centered and really strange. And I would say lean into that. Don't be afraid of that feeling. Expect it. Know it's there. But it is also the only time you're going to have your first book signing. It's the only time. Like it's and enjoy that, and go ahead and let it be about you for that day. Go ahead. Like I'm giving you permission, because it's a little bit strange to have it feel kind of like a self-absorbed moment, but it is, and all those insecurities about how you're going to do it all. It's weird because you're planning the event and the host, the guest of the event. It's kind of a weird thing.
right. I know some writers, they practice their handwriting. Like, how am I going to
Yeah,
sign it?
yeah,
It's like all of a
yeah.
sudden you have to sign your
Right.
signature on all these books. And
Yeah, yeah. I'm a handwriting girl. I'm a pens and handwriting girl. That's one of my, and actually that goes back to the waiting journey. You got to know what fuels you, because the craft of writing is work, and it has a demand. It drains. Even though it's fun and it's entertaining and you want to do it and it has a lot of opportunities inside of it, it does cost. And so you have to do, Darlene and I, she has horses, she does stuff with her family, gets out kayaking, take adventure, garden. Both of us are garden people. Garden is a big one
uh-huh.
for me. But my planner, which is also a place where I journal and track what's happening in my heart or with my family, and a little bit of arts and doodles and pen, all of that stuff is an inflow to me. So you got to make sure you know where your inflow are as a creative, because sometimes you really have to get out and get inflow going. So you have to know what they are and jump out there.